pantry staples cooking class tonight. For those of you that thanks, Tess. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Sarah. I am from the Mindful Kitchen and I've been a Thermomix consultant for nearly 4 years now. Tonight I am joined by Kasey, another beautiful Thermomix consultant here in Victoria, and my lovely team leader Tess as well, who will be here to keep an eye on the chat box for any questions you might have and just to keep things running smoothly for me. Kasey will be cooking with me tonight. She's got a couple of dishes that she will be showing you, and we will get started. So obviously tonight is all about our pantry staples. I'm pretty sure most of you here tonight have got your Thermomix on your bench. So I'm hoping most of you have tried some of these recipes before, because they are a favourite in our household for a pantry swap. So we don't really buy any of this at the supermarket. We like to make it ourselves, and tonight we'll show you why and just how easy it can be to make in your Thermomix. So feel free to jump off mute and ask any questions, or just type anything in the chat box if you have any questions as we go along, and we'll try and answer it as we're going. If not, we'll try and get to you at the end. But without further ado, I will hand you over to Kasey, who is going to do homemade butter.
Hello, everybody. Those of you that don't know me, my name's Kasey. I've been a consultant for a little while now. I started early in 2024. Thanks, Sarah, for having me. This is good fun. I like these types of demos. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys how I make homemade butter. In my house, we go through a lot of bread, a lot of butter, a lot of spreads, all those sorts of things. So this kind of stuff saves a lot of money. I actually did make some loaves of bread to be able to have the butter on it, and my family was eating half of it. So this is what we've got left of the fresh bread that I did make to be able to have it. But it saves us a heap of money. So I'm going to do the butter to begin with. I've got it saved here. So it's in Cookie Dough. So I assume most of you who have got your machines have got Cookie Dough. It's literally just called butter. So it's super easy to find. We're going to go start cooking. So it's going to ask me to pop in my butterfly whisk. Pop that in. It's funny reading it upside down. All right, and then we've got 600 grams of pure cream. It's really good because this recipe only has 2 ingredients in it, one being cream and one being chilled water. Chilled water, always got it in the fridge. Cream, I often find the pure cream on special at Woolies and Coles if it's right near its use by date, and it actually works better if it is closer to the use by date, because what you're wanting it to do is separate, and if it is close to its use by date, it separates easier. So if you're ever at Woolies or Coles and notice that there is pure cream on special, grab it, because you can freeze it as well, but really good and really cheap way to make butter. We're just shy, but that's okay. All right. Next, pop the lid on with the measuring cup. Next, now what it's going to do is just whip it and separate the cream. Turn around to speed 4. And that'll do that for a minute.
Thanks, Kasey. Sarah, we can't hear you.
Pop that on. Thanks, Tess. Now, while Kasey has started her butter, I'm going to quickly whip up some LSA. Now, LSA, standing for linseed, sunflower seeds, and almonds, is a health food staple that you can buy. It's really delicious in granola, sprinkled on your breakfast, maybe your porridge, or on yogurt with some fresh fruit. It's great to use in baking as well. It's very high in fiber, very high in protein, and it's just really good for you. And it can be really expensive to buy a small bag of it. But what we're going to do today, we're going to actually make it in bulk. So this is also a cookie dough recipe. Now, all the recipes tonight can be found on Cookie Dough, which is really helpful. So simple, guided cooking. And another very simple recipe with only 3 ingredients. So I'm going to pop in my linseeds or my flax seeds, as you may know them. So they're just the little brown seeds here. So I'm just going to pop in those. And then we also need some sunflower seeds. So I have got my sunflower seeds here. So they're also going to go in. And lastly, some raw almonds. So I've just got plain raw almonds in here. And we're going to pop those in as well. So we just have all of our seeds and our nuts in the bowl here. And then when I can find my lid, we are going to 10 seconds, speed 9, mill this up. And that is it. So in 10 seconds, we have a very popular health food that you can buy at your supermarket. Oh, I'm going to make a real mess tipping this in. But with the power of our Thermomix, I needed a way bigger container for how much we have just made. There's still about half of that in there. But here is our LSA here. So you can see just how finely those almonds, those linseeds and those sunflower seeds have been blended down. And there is a really, really great pantry staple that you can be making yourself. I'm going to pop you back over to Kasey, who's be up to the next step of her butter.
Yep. All right. I need to find a better way to be able to unmute myself. All right. So I'm just going to show you what it's done there is just separate the cream from what's now buttermilk. So it's done that really well, actually. I'm quite happy with that. So we just go next, and now it's just got using the simmering basket, strain the liquids from the solids, reserving the buttermilk for later. And so to do that, what I use...
We can't hear you, Kasey.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So what I use is, if you've got a thermo server, it's a really good way to do it. So simmering basket, pop it inside the thermo server, and then...
Can't see you, Kasey.
Okay, I'll just spotlight her. Sorry.
How's that?
There she is.
Hi.
Liz.
I'm here.
Sorry, Liz. I was busy trying to get all the recipes for you and forgot to spotlight Kasey. So my apologies.
No, you're all right.
Oh, good, Tess.
I'm here. Hi. So I've just pulled out the butterfly whisks. We don't need that anymore. And then what I'm just going to do, where have I put my spatula? There it is. We're just going to pop the solids. I don't know, hopefully you can see that reasonably clearly. Is just scrape out everything out of here. Let me move this out of the way. And I do that or something like that. I'll do a demo. Hence why I'm called what I'm called.
Keep it that real.
Every time I do something right. Last time I wore spaghetti. So we're just going to separate all that. Pop that into there.
I need to have coffee with someone and learn how to put the whisk in properly.
Yeah, we can do that for you, Liz.
I can't. 4 years I've had my fix and I cannot do it. My daughter comes and does it. My daughter comes and uses it and does it, but I can't.
Yeah, I had someone at a demo the other day tell me the same thing. All right. Now,
and Michelle, we will answer your question in a little bit, okay?
All right. So now it's just asking me for 500 grams of chilled water. So I've just previously put that. It's come from the fridge. We've all got water at home. One would hope. I don't know how good my measurements were when I quickly threw it in there, so who knows. We could go anywhere with this. There we go. 503. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Next. Now, It's draining a little bit, but I haven't got a lot out of it. What sometimes it would do, this one's still got quite a bit of time on it, but the ones that are close to expiring often have a lot of the liquid that comes out of it. And it's essentially your buttermilk, which you then can use to make pancakes, scones, yeah, all different sorts of things. I put it in banana bread. So yeah, it saves you having to buy buttermilk, because buttermilk itself is quite expensive.
So you're essentially getting 2 pantry staples out of this one recipe.
Yeah, exactly. That's a win. All right. So I've just popped the butter solids into the bowl, put the lid back on without wearing it. And now it's going to go for 5 seconds to speed 4.
Just on the back end.
So at the moment, this is what it's looking like. Still fairly watery at this stage. Next. And now it wants me to do the exact same thing that I just did with the simmering basket. So I'll get my thermoserver back in. My simmering basket back here. See if I can do it without wearing it again. Okay. And so it just says use a simmering basket to strain the liquids from the solids a second time so that only the butter is left. So I'm going to let that strain for a little while. And then what I could do from there is once it's all strained out, it's still straining quite a bit. You can see that in the camera. I can roll it up and cut it into a sausage and cut it into little slithers that you can use. I could put it in like a square shape to use as like cooking butter, which is probably what I'm likely to do. Or what you can also do is add some oil to it. I can pop this back in the bowl, add some oil and mix it. From memory, it was speed 3 for about 30 seconds, and it makes spreadable butter. If you wanted to make something like garlic butter or herb butter, you can do the same thing. This would be the part of the recipe where you'd mix in any flavors that you wanted. But that's essentially it. On the TM6, it'll have your video here of how to roll it up. And then you use it as needed. You can freeze it. I think it says it lasts 3 months in the freezer, and then in the fridge, it'll last for 2 weeks as long as it's in an airtight container. That's it. And there's the butter sitting in there at the moment. It's still draining a little bit. But I've also got a decent amount of buttermilk too, so that's good. So that's that one. I'll leave that to sit.
Thank you, Kasey.
That's okay. Sarah, did you want me to go straight into the strawberry jam?
I think so. Get started on the jam, and then depending on how long the rest of the class goes, it might be finished, ready to show everyone the finished product at the end. So yeah, if you're ready to go, that'd be great. Thanks, Kasey.
Which jam recipe are you doing, Kasey? And I'll pop in the comments.
So I use just the basic strawberry jam recipe. There's a couple of them. There's one that uses ounces and the other one that uses grams. I use the one that uses grams, but I also add half a teaspoon of vanilla in mine. And my family go nuts for it. So I'm going to do that again today. Okay, start cooking. So I thought I was being really clever. Loaf of bread, butter, and jam. Everybody seems to love half the bread's gone. Okay. Need a bowl for that. Got apple and strawberries in it, so I've just cut it all up and thrown it in together. Oh, but what I'll do first, asking for 500 grams of the strawberries. Be quicker if I tip it. Feel like these aren't going to go all over my bench. So I've just cut up 500 grams of strawberries. These ones were sort of starting to look a little bit on the sad side. And we go through a lot of strawberries anyway in my house, but when they start to look a little bit sad and soft, that's when I usually put them into jam so that they don't go to waste. And jam can get quite expensive too. All right. I'm going to ask for 20 grams.
And strawberries are very cheap.
Yes.
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah. And if you can get a decent one, I've had no luck getting decent strawberries lately. I get some really ones that might last even 24 hours. I'm cheating. I'm using the bottled lemon juice because I have no lemons left. I got a little bit lemon slice happy. Be back in a second. 1 second.
In case you haven't noticed, I've been popping the recipes up in the chat box for you.
200 grams of white sugar. And you could reduce the amount of sugar in this if you wanted to. Sorry, I'm covering my face, but I can't read it otherwise. I just do what the recipe asks. I've never really changed it, but you could reduce the amount of sugar if you wanted it to be that little bit less sugar heavy. But being a jam, you want it to have the sweetness. Well, me personally, anyway. And then 1 apple, which is just cut up into pieces. Again, a little bit of a sad apple. One that probably wouldn't get peeps to eat, so it's just gonna live there. Okay, and so it's asking me to pop my aroma on the top. All right. So this is going to go for 25 minutes. So it's a fairly decent one, but it's essentially done. So after that 25 minutes, it will blitz it, it will put it into the right jam consistency, and then I'll pop it into a preheated jar that I've sterilized previously. I actually got sitting in the oven because to put it into the hot jar straight away, seal it straight away, and then you turn it upside down so it'll be set at the bottom and it's done. That's it. I just realized I didn't even put my vanilla into this one.
You can add it in now.
Quickly pop it in now.
I could, yeah. You don't have to, but I usually do. But I forgot about it because I was too busy watching the screen. That's all right. They can have it minus vanilla this time. That's it.
Yum. Thanks, Kasey. How good. So quick, so easy. Now you can walk away and let that cook down into a really, really delicious jam. Now, the next pantry staple we are going to do is mayonnaise. Now, pop in the chat box if you have tried mayonnaise before. Love to see. I'm going to bring my chat box up so I can see. Mayonnaise is something I love to make in my Thermomix because I'm very mindful of seed oils and canola oils and the preservatives that are unfortunately in our store-bought mayonnaises. Now, you can buy cleaner, preservative-free mayonnaises, but you're looking at about $15 a jar. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay that for my mayonnaise, especially when I can make a super delicious one in my Thermomix. Another reason I love to make my own mayo is because it allows me to really tailor the flavoring and the taste to suit how I like my mayonnaise. You can also make aioli, you can make like a sriracha sort of mayo. You can really customize it to suit you. Now, I like to use olive oil. Now, I get a lot of messages and comments about people saying, oh, it doesn't taste nice. It's really heavy. It's very yellow in color. The trick here is to use a really, really light, extra mild olive oil. So I just buy Coles and Woolworths both do it. It says extra mild. This is the olive oil that you want to use for your mayonnaise. So let's get started. I have weighed out my olive oil in here. Now, if you're not keen on using olive oil, you can use the grapeseed oil like the recipe says. This is the standard mayonnaise recipe on Cookie Dough. You're at least eliminating the other preservatives and the numbers that are in store-bought mayonnaises, one step closer to a cleaner mayonnaise just by switching out those canola oils and those inflammatory seed oils. Now, I have an egg here that is at room temperature, and I'm going to pop that into my bowl. Now, the next step is asking for lemon juice or some vinegar. So this is just adding your acidity here. I like to use apple cider vinegar. I've used lemon in the past. I've used white vinegar. I really like it with apple cider vinegar. just going to get out my little teaspoon. And we're just going to pop 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar into the bowl. And then 1 to 2 teaspoons of mustard. Now, you don't have to add this. I love adding it, and I like to add a Dijon mustard. So we'll pop our Dijon mustard in there. And I'm not shy, I do a nice big spoonful. And then pepper. Now, I actually don't put any pepper in my mayonnaise. I leave pepper out. I just add, it says half a teaspoon. I add like a whole teaspoon, like one big pinch in there as well. Then we're going to pop our lid on without the measuring cup, and we're just going to get those blazed started, and we're going to slowly add in our olive oil. Sorry, we are going to put our measuring cup in, and we're just going to pour our oil so it can slowly start to emulsify. Just slowly drizzling that in. And we'll let that all come together. Now I have a jar that I've pre-sterilized, ready to go, to pop our nice thick mayonnaise into. And a lot of questions I also get is how long does it last? Now, I think the recipe says a week. I have had it in the fridge for longer than a week, and it has been completely fine. I think just use your own common sense. If it starts to look a bit funny or smell a bit funny, then you know what to do.
So, Sarah,
yes,
we had a question: is the measuring cup fully on?
No, it's not. So it's yes, it is pushed in.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not because there is gaps.
Yeah, there are little feet, Liz, on the lid that allow it to drizzle in the exact right pace for the emulsification to occur. So another very clever trait of the Thermomix is that you could actually have poured all the oil in to the lid, and it would still continue to drizzle down at the right timing to emulsify.
Yes, thanks, Tess. That's such a great point. I've just popped another 20 seconds on just to get that oil mixed in. Okay. And once again, in a very short amount of time, we have another delicious pantry staple. There is our beautifully thick mayonnaise.
Beautiful.
If you haven't made it, you must. It is just a must try. I tell people all the time, you have to make mayonnaise. And it does taste different. But I had a conversation with a customer the other day, and I was like, well, how do we not know this is how mayonnaise is actually meant to taste? And store-bought ones that don't taste right because they're filled with garbage. This is so lush. It's beautiful in a salad sandwich, an egg sandwich. I love it when we make like sweet potato chips. Anything you put mayonnaise on, you'll trust me, once you've made your own, you won't go back. I'll finish filling up my jar in a sec, but I made mayonnaise in a couple of minutes. So definitely a favorite, especially if you are wanting to, as I said earlier, cut back on your seed oils and preservatives. This is a huge one that people love. So
Awesome.
that is the mayonnaise done.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, while you clean up and get ready for the next recipe, I'm just going to answer Liz's question. Oh, no, Michelle's question, sorry, about the cookie dough filters. So I will remove your spotlight and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into cookie dough. I can find it. There we go. And there is the recipe right there for the peanut butter, which I'm about ready to pop in the comments. Okay, so what we all want, unless we speak another language, and please correct me if anyone here speaks more than English, to have a look. I am actually in the website here, cookiedoo.com.au, and I'm signed in, and I'm going to go into my profile. You can do this on your phone as well. So we go into there. Yes, my cookie dough calls me gorgeous. Someone has to, right? We go view profile, and this is where you set up your preferences. Now, I change these around when I get a bit bored and I want some new recipe inspiration. At the moment, I've labeled myself a time-saving cook. You could be a vegetable cook, a chefy cook, so like more fancy, more involved ingredients, or a classic cook. You can choose, and you can change that at any time. And then you select which additional accessories that you may have. If you've got a blade cover peeler, a cutter, and a sensor, and soon to be added on this will be the spiralizer. That's very exciting. That is coming very, very soon. Then we go into search your filter preferences, and this is really important because when your Thermomix arrives, it comes preset on Australia as a country or region. And what that means is that you are getting all TM6 recipes in English, but only from Australia, and you want them from the world. So you go in to update my filter and you select which Thermomix you have. You select English, and if you are bilingual and speak another language, by all means, select that language as well. And then you go down to country of origin and just make sure, usually Australia will already be ticked. Just make sure that you remove that tick and then hit save. And that means that you will be getting access to recipes from all around the world that are in English. Hopefully that was helpful.
Perfect. Thank you, Tess. I forgot how to do it.
You're very welcome. No worries. Because usually
Thank you so much.
If one of you have got a question, it's applicable to more than one of you. So you are very welcome, Michelle. Okay. So I was also going to just quickly go through host rewards. We've got some rippers on at the moment. And I haven't got, hang on, bear with me. I need to change my screen, stop share. Are you ready, Sarah?
Look ready. I am, but happy for you to just quickly chat about the host rewards.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have some amazing host rewards on offer at the moment, and they are the festive host rewards. They've been continued since Christmas. I haven't actually got a graphic to show you. I'll full confessions here. I've literally just arrived back from the beach about 10 minutes to 7. So I'm a little disheveled. But anyway, there's amazing things on there like rose gold bakeware, the Thermo mini vac. What else is on there? The cookie dough subscription, your anyway, if you go onto the website, thermomix.com.au, you'll be able to see them all.
There's a grazing box and a handheld vac as well.
Thank you. Yep. The mini vac, which is excellent. That's worth $299. So you can either unlock those at a heavily discounted price if you just have a demonstration. It could be online or in person. And if no one purchases, that's fine. You still get thanked and you unlock a special price for those amazing host rewards. I am going to guarantee that you will also pick up some ripper hints and tips of how to use your Thermomix. We learn all the time from each other and we learn from our customers. So the more demos you can have is really just going to help cement your knowledge and help you get better use out of your Thermomix. So if you haven't had a demonstration for a while, have one because you've got so much to gain from doing so. The other thing, if you don't have time to have a demonstration, but you know of someone who might be interested in a Thermomix, you can actually unlock a $100 Mix Shop voucher just by recommending someone to one of us consultants if you don't already have a consultant. So please just reach out. We would love to help you. We could send you a code called a referral code. You send that to your friend or family member who might be interested in a Thermomix and they fill that out. If they do decide to go ahead and purchase, you will get a $100 Mix Shop voucher sent to you, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so there's just a few little tidbits while Sarah got ready, and now we're going to move over to watch her make some peanut butter.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tess. Now, the next pantry staple that we are going to make is peanut butter. Now, making your own nut butters in your Thermomix, as you're about to see, is extremely quick. Now, I want to hear in the chat box who has made the switch to a natural peanut butter but hates having to, you get a brand new jar of like Mayonnaise peanut butter and you open it up and it has that thick layer of oil at the top and you have to get your spoon and you've got to stir it and you've got to keep stirring it until the nuts at the bottom mix with the oil at the top and you've already dripped half the oil out of the top of the jar and you're over it. Because that used to be me. I used to try and shake it and no, didn't work. Did not work. Anyone put a hand up? Yeah. Now, making your own peanut butter, I will guarantee you, does not happen. I think it's because it's so fresh. I'm assuming all the store-bought ones have sat in a factory, sat in a truck. It's been a long time since it's been turned into a nut butter to the time it's put on the shelf. So all you need to do is get yourself some peanuts, some unsalted peanuts. A bag like this from, where's this one from? Woolies is about $2.70 a bag. The recipe I use on Cookie Do is the crunchy peanut butter recipe. There's a few recipes on there. Some of the recipes have added oil as well as the nuts. You don't need to do that. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. The natural oils in the nuts is all you need, and the power of the Thermomix obviously draws those out. So with the crunchy peanut butter, we are going to do the crunchy element first by blitzing half of them up. So we're going with half of them here. So these are just an unsalted peanut. You can get dry roasted. I don't recommend buying already salted peanuts. You want to be able to control the amount of salt you're putting in yourself. I did have a customer who bought salted ones once and she was like, oh, it's horrible. It's so salty. Mm-hmm. So around the speed. And we're just going to pop this into the bowl. So it's just nice and fine, crushed, sort of like a crushed peanut that you would buy. And now we're going, oh, still a little bit in there. And now with the remaining half of the bag, we're going to pop the rest in. And this is where you can add some salt. Now I don't add any salt to my peanut butter. And we're going to pop the lid on. And we're going to go for 30 seconds first on speed 7.
Not very well. Not very well, sorry. Another thing I've done when I've been making the Thai peanut chicken curry with rice, with coconut rice, is I've realized I didn't have any peanut butter. And, having the second bowl meant that I could just stop the recipe, put the other bowl in and make the peanut butter, which saved me so much time from going down the street to buy it. And, also, of course, saves money and it saves our health because there's no preservatives in it. Winning.
Okay, so we've just done the first step, and now we've got another 2 minutes at speed 5. Hopefully won't be as noisy. That's much better. Now, a hot tip when doing any of your own nut butters in the Thermomix, you want to ensure that your bowl is bone dry. You don't even want a drop of water in the bowl or the lid because it can cause those nuts to seize up. So ensure you have a really dry bowl. We'll ensure you get a really beautiful creamy butter. Some other things you can be making, we love to make our own almond butter, you can make cashew butter, homemade Nutella is a really popular one in this household as well. You can even do sort of a nut and seed butter as well. You can really customize it to yourself. You could have done with this recipe here, half peanuts, half cashews, or do an ABC butter with almonds, cashews and Brazil nuts. The options are all yours. Now I once again have a sterilized jar here to pop our peanut butter into once it is all ready. Still has a minute to go. We've got anyone here that's made peanut butter?
They're not very chatty tonight, Sarah.
So basically this is costing me half of what a jar would be on special these days. Peanut butter, like everything else, has definitely gone up at the supermarket too. So that was another incentive for me to be like, you know what? No, I'm not buying this anymore. I'm going to be making my own. And we go through a lot of peanut butter, go through a lot of almond butter as well. If you haven't made your own almond butter, I definitely recommend almond butter as well. I think I buy a bag of dry roasted almonds from Aldi for about $6.
Liz has just said to me privately, I don't think she meant to do it privately, but she said that peanut butter was one of the first things she started making and she makes it all the time.
Yeah, I think once you make that switch, you can't go back.
No.
You just know how much better it tastes. Here is, my lighting's quite bad tonight. I'm just going to pop another light on. Let's see if this helps. There is our smooth component of the peanut butter. I'm now just going to pop our crunchy element back in. Oh, it smells so good. And just going to mix that for a further minute. Thanks, Tess. That's the recipe there, the crunchy peanut butter. It's always handy when you're at the supermarket to just grab that bag of peanuts and have it sitting in your pantry for situations like Tess where you may need some peanut butter and you don't have it. And whip it up in under 5 minutes.
I'm going to pop a recipe in the comments. One of the staples that I really love to make and saves me an absolute fortune is golden syrup. Find it?
Yeah.
Something else I made last week that I'd forgotten about was teriyaki sauce. Super easy to make and the flavor is amazing.
Tandoori sauce is really good too.
Okay,
yes.
So here is the homemade peanut butter. So good. And I can guarantee you this one will not. I'm going to just tilt my camera down so you can watch me as I'm popping it in my jar. And with all these pantry staples too, it makes a lot. So I definitely, from one little bag of peanuts, the amount of peanut butter that we get from it is great. Scooping all that.
Don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't find the golden syrup recipe. It's not coming up. So,
A tip that I like to give my customers that I never do for myself is actually using your lid as a little funnel so you don't spill it everywhere like I have just done. It'll make it much easier to get it all into your jar. One thing I do like to do after I've made a nut butter is I don't wash my bowl and I leave a little bit of the nut butter in there, and then I make some protein balls or some bliss balls with what's left in there. So I'm getting two dishes out of the one recipe. Right here is our delicious homemade peanut butter. I'll pop photos of all of these up on my Instagram stories afterwards as well, so you can see them a little bit better as well. Now, is there no questions in the chat box, Tess? No.
I think so.
Now, the last recipe that I am going to show you this evening for our Pantry Staples class is your homemade taco seasoning. Now, there are a lot of recipes on Cookie-Doo for homemade seasonings and spice mixes and things like that. And a favorite in our household is definitely taco night. So making your own taco seasoning is super simple. It also allows you to tailor it to suit your family's needs. So if you've got little ones, you can make a mild version. If there's no kids, you can go heavy on the chili and make it really spicy taco seasoning as well. But this is a super simple one where we are just going to add all the different spices. You'll see when you go to the supermarket and you buy the El Del Paso or the Coles brand little sachets of taco seasoning. Unfortunately, there is those colors and preservatives and additives in there that we obviously really just don't need. And I'm so sorry that you can't actually see my Thermomix as well. That's a little bit better. Okay, so Tess has linked the taco seasoning recipe in the chat box. And we're going to start cooking. And I have my little jars of spices here. And I have my taco jar, which I am a bit concerned about. It's not going to be big enough. But the first one is chili powder. Now, we only add, what have we got in grams? I need to make mine kid friendly, so I only go in with maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon. My kids can handle a little bit of spice, but not too much. We're going to go in with some garlic powder. Tablespoon of that. Onion powder. Now, as you are all Thermomix owners, you know how much Thermomix recipes love your herbs and spices. So guarantee you will have all of these in your spice drawer or cupboard at home. Oregano. Paprika. Just making sure that's not the chili powder. Don't want 2 tablespoons of that in here. And then cumin seeds. Now I only do half of the cumin seeds. So we're just going in with 1 tablespoon. And then our salt, tablespoon of salt. Now you can add some more chili here. You can add chili and you can add peppercorns, which I'm going to skip as well. Then we're going to, I'll show you in here, all of our lovely spices are in there, ready to go. So we've got the cumin seeds and the salt flakes in here. They're obviously a lot bigger, so we're just going to mill those up. Speed 10 seconds. I actually use a funnel for this. I'm not getting taco seasoning everywhere. Sorry, I said 10 seconds. It's 1 minute. Smells like Taco Tuesdays in here. Okay, and we are done. Our taco seasoning, all done. And like the peanut butter, it makes such an incredible amount that this will last you a few Taco Tuesdays. So I'm just going to use my funnel here and hopefully get it all in the jar. I will show you, see there, it's down to a nice powder. You can see why I'm so passionate about making your pantry staples in your Thermomix, because it's so quick and easy. These 3 things, mayonnaise, peanut butter, and taco seasoning, were actually things I needed to restock. And within a matter of half an hour, I have managed to get them all done. So you can always just do a bit of a pantry restock cooking session and get all your pantry staples topped up. Another good thing, if you are making your seasoning, make it when you are having tacos or fajitas or something, because you can leave your spice mix in your bowl to flavour that. And there is still some in the bowl, but you can see here this beautiful fine taco seasoning powder. And that is done. Now I'm going to head back over to Kasey to see how you're going with your jam.
My jam is done. All right, here we go. I'm getting a message telling me you've just spotlighted me. There we go. I was like, why is it playing up for me? No, my jam is done. It's super hot. You can see it here upside down. So all I did was literally just tip it from in here from the bowl into the jar that I had preheated when I sterilized it initially, and then I just popped it into a really low heat oven to keep it warm, so that when the hot jam was going in, it was gonna go well into the warm thing. So that is in upside down. It says to hold it here for 10 minutes. So I've set myself a little timer for 10 minutes, but I did get a sneaky little taste. I don't know if anyone spotted me. But it is like deliciously sweet. I did end up adding my vanilla because I couldn't help myself. But yeah, highly recommend giving it a go. This will last for a good few weeks in the fridge. It won't last that long in our house, but it can last that long. It just doesn't have the same, obviously, preservatives as what you'll buy in the shops. And all this cost me was 2 punnets of strawberries that I already had because my kids eat a lot of strawberries, and a sad looking apple. And that was pretty much it. Much cheaper than buying the store-bought jams, and it tastes better. So yeah, that's it. That's done. So once that sits for 10 minutes, I'll flip it back over and I'll chuck it in the fridge.
So
Awesome.
quick.
Easy and
So
hot.
quick and easy. I'm glad it was, done in the time that I was cooking away. Now that is all the dishes that we have got for you this evening. I'd love to know in the chat box, or feel free to come off mute, any of them that you're now wanting to try, or you're going to give a go, or that you have made and that you love. In, what are we, under an hour, we've made butter, jam, mayonnaise, peanut butter, taco seasoning, and LSA. So
Wonderful.
simple, so quick. I myself, all I had to do was go and buy peanuts. But otherwise, everything else for me was pantry item that I've made into a pantry staple. So if you have any other questions?
Well, I'm going to
Taco
make
seasoning
butter.
with peanut butter, amazing. Yeah, the taco seasoning is so delicious. It's another one that once you start making it yourself, you won't go
The
back
butter
to
is
the
still
store
draining.
bought.
The butter's still draining.
Yeah, it's still draining. If I try and walk it over here from the edge of my bench, I'm scared what might happen.
Well, I'm going to have a go at it as soon as I work out how to actually use that damn butterfly.
I can, yeah, let me show you where I'm sitting at the moment. It's still got a little bit draining out of the bottom, but you can see it's quite thick.
Oh.
And I'm still getting little drips out of it. So I'm just going to leave it there, because then whatever I get in buttermilk, I'm going to use. We'll do make some scones with it tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Kasey, is that a clean jug you've got behind you? Is that got something?
Washed, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe show how to insert the butterfly?
Yeah, sure. Where did I put my butterfly? That's the next question. There it is.
For 4 years, I've managed without it.
You've done well to go that way.
I give up.
Don't give up, never.
I've had it floating around in mixers and all sorts of things.
I noticed the other day, a couple of people actually weren't pulling apart their bowl to clean it. They didn't realize that it even came apart. So I don't know if anyone.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone was not aware of that, but I did put a post on my page, because there was actually quite a few that said they had no idea that it came apart. So it does. So it comes apart. You've got the bowl, obviously goes in together with the blade. And then the lid just clips on like so. So the butterfly whisk, I always forget off the top of my head which way it goes. Tess, you've got a way to remember it, but I just click it in. One way it won't sit, another way that it will. So this way, if I do it, it's just going to fall out.
Yeah.
But then if I click it in that way, so it's against the, hang on.
Highest bend in the blade.
That's right, yeah.
Goes behind the tallest bend in the blade.
Yeah, go. I always say just to the left of the top blade, and you click it anti-clockwise.
So that's the top blade is the one at the bottom.
Yeah. I'll try. I'll keep trying.
Doesn't slide around.
Once you feel it click and you'll know.
Yeah. I never remembered which way it was to look at it, but I was like, no, that doesn't feel right. And then it clicks in, and then it won't shuffle around.
Thanks, Kasey.
Okay, I'll keep trying. Thank you.
No worries.
You're welcome. Well, if you've got any other suggestions for us of things that you would like us to present to you, please, by all means, pop it in the chat or reach out to your consultant if you have one. And if you don't, reach out and we will make sure that you are taken care of. Oh, that looks beautiful, Kasey.
I want some. So good.
Yummy, yummy. Get in my tummy.
Yes.
Now, the one other thing I was just going to quickly say, if you don't mind, and then I'll pass back to you, Sarah, is we are having a big kickoff party next Monday night at Glen Iris at our Thermomix head office. If any of you have ever thought, wonder what it would be like to be a consultant, reach out, ask us, and we will invite you along to that party on Monday night. Your mind will be blown of what we are about to lift the lid off, of incentives, of recruitment offers, travel incentives. Just amazing, amazing. So if you've ever had any thought of finding out more about what it means to be a consultant, please ask one of us, or if we are not your consultant, ask your consultant, and we would love to see you there on Monday night. Over to you, Sarah.
Oh, like the anticipation. Not even I know what this is about either. Tess has got this little secret wrapped around her finger. Now, for those of you that have jumped on tonight that do not have a consultant and you would like to be connected to one, Tess, Kasey, or myself would love to look after you. So feel free to reach out or shoot us an email. We would love to adopt you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your Thermomix as well. I really hope you enjoyed this evening. I want to say thank you to Kasey and Tess for both joining me this evening. I do have 2 more classes coming up. I have an Australia Day favourites and then also a back to school lunchbox class as well. So if that interests you, I'll be sharing that on my socials and then also to my subscribers as well. So if you'd like to receive my emails, let me know. But I won't hold you guys up any further this evening. I hope you'll have a wonderful night, and I hope you have learned something and you have been inspired to be making more pantry staples at home. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Liz.